And on the line with us is Enno Schmidt, the co-founder with Basic Income Switzerland. The website is basicincome2016.org. You can tweet at ENNOMAIL. And am I saying it right, Enno, or is it Eno?
Enno, it's okay.
Enno. So tell us about the Basic Income Switzerland. First of all, probably a lot of people, we have talked about this in this program, but I'm guessing probably many people don't realize that there was a vote in Switzerland. What was it, last week?
So a public vote, and that means everybody in Switzerland has to think about this issue, this enormous, astonishing thing to give everybody an unconditional basic income floor. That means it's the same if you are rich or poor. It's not regarding if you are living alone or in a community, whether you are employed or not employed. It's from birth to death, and this is an amazing idea, I think. And for the most of the Swiss people, of course, because they are very conservative, this is a shock. And we did this campaign, so starting 10 years ago, and the campaign itself, the last half of the year, and now it turns that nearly every fourth Swiss voted yes, this is a good idea.
Wow.
And with our survey after the vote, more than 60% of the Swiss population, and even in every single party, says this is a topic of the future. We will vote again about that. So it's going on, and I guess this is a milestone that the population first have the right to vote about it. That's a special thing. It's not by the government. So if the majority would have said yes, then this is an instruction to the government to do it. And they has been a bit afraid about that because they don't know how can we do that. But so we are lovely, and we will give them some direction.
Now I understand that the proposal that you put forth in the vote in Switzerland was for roughly the equivalent of around 25 to 30,000 US dollars per year per citizen?
Yeah, let me say that. So it's often mistaken and misunderstood it's not about the exchange range. It is about the buy power, the purchasing power.
Right.
2,500 francs. It was not a point in our proposal, so that was free, no amount, no way, no how to finance. These are steps for the future. When the majority say yes, then we can build that up. But 2,500 francs for an adult in Switzerland is really, really not many. It's just to live, but a bit poorly. And the critics in Switzerland said it's too low. So I don't know the purchasing power in the United States, but
that would be the top end of the poverty level, the bottom end of the working poor, 25 grand a year, maybe for a family. I mean, you know.
Now, for a single person, it's around 3,000 Swiss francs what you get by social benefit if you have all the different payments. So I guess
so people are getting 3,000 Swiss francs a month right now if they're a family, if they're poor.
No, it's a family. It's 4,000 is a minimum wage, for example, that you can live with a family. 4,000 Swiss francs.
Which any idea what that translates into in dollars?
Yeah, you can do it by yourself to see what's the amount, for example, an adult can live decently but modest in the United States. I don't know. Right. Maybe it's $1,200.
Well, it depends on where you are in the country. You know, if you're in New York City, it's
where you are
much higher than if you're in rural Louisiana. But yeah.
Of course. It's the same like in Switzerland. You can't live with this in Geneva, for example, but on the countryside it's possible.
Right.
It's just a number, and it's not high. It's really low. And that is a question of the further way to go further on with this idea to say maybe it's good to have it in the same level and not different between cities and the countryside.
Well, this is why I asked the question about the amount. And that was to the where I was going with that is the debate in Switzerland right now, should we have a guaranteed minimum income or not? Or is the debate in Switzerland right now, should we have a guaranteed minimum income at this particular threshold or price point or whatever you want to call that? And the reason that you didn't win the vote was because people thought you were either too high or too low.
No, it's not because they thought it's too high. Definitely not. So that's a view from abroad that this is very high. But in Switzerland itself, it was more than that. Some critics say you make the people poor.
Right.
So it's too low. The debate, what's going on further on now, is not about these specific points, but also it's in the debate. It is, again, about if you want to go in this direction by a majority and an instruction of the government. On the other hand, I think in this next years we will start pilot projects. So 44% of the population are for starting pilot projects. The city of Lausanne, for example, they decided just before the vote, we start by replacing social benefit security payments in some cases with unconditional payments to see what's going on. So that's what I want to say. It is an ongoing movement.
So there's a city in Switzerland that's actually doing this. When are they going to start
doing this? They started in the way like, for example, in Canada or in the Netherlands, they are doing the same thing. It's just to replace social benefit security amounts.
Right.
And that is the first step.
Mm-hmm. So it's basically saying, okay, we have all these different social welfare programs for people in financial trouble, but each one of these programs costs something to administer. They're fractured across a spectrum of things. Let's just replace them all with a guaranteed basic minimum income. Is it as simple as that?
Yeah, it's as simple as that, but at least not as simple as that. So it's a different thing. If you want to save money, that's one point. That's not the point of the thought and the idea of an unconditional basic income. The other is, and that's always running, in fact, to have more dignity, to come to more trust, to more humanity in this view on the people who are not bad people. So just it's the structure, and we have digitalization, and we have all this, and it's necessary to rethink our opinions.
Right. So this is really countering the idea that goes back 7,000 years in Western civilization, that people who are poor because of moral deficiency, and instead saying, no, sorry, that's not the case. We're all humans here. The system works for some and it doesn't work for all, and let's make sure that all of our brothers and sisters are taken care of.
Yeah, of course, and that's not only in Switzerland, that's worldwide. And that's, for example, it's just to remember that we are a civil society. So we are not a subsystem by any god called economy or called saving money or everything like that. It's to strengthen the civil societies, to strengthen the citizens, to strengthen the individual, and that is to strengthen, to come in this century, to come in the future, to create that society that we want, and to remember by the values, for example, especially particular by the U.S., so that you have the right to live your thing, what fulfills your biography. So happiness,
the pursuit of
equal
happiness.
rights, or for example, human rights.
Yeah.
And it's always it's going to refresh and rebuild this old values we forgot in a way. So that's not such a bad thing. We forgot it, okay, but now we have to remember it's a new time, and we have to come up with a new perspective and prospect of where we want to go to.
That is absolutely marvelous. Back in I think it was in the 1790s, Thomas Paine wrote a booklet, a small book called Agrarian Justice.
Yeah,
in which he proposed something very much like this. I mean, this is a great idea. Enno Schmidt, the co-founder of Basic Income Switzerland, basicincome2016.org is the website. You can tweet him at Ennomail, ENNOMAIL. Enno, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
It's great talking with you, and I wish you the very best in your project. May it succeed and prosper. Thank you so much. 15 minutes past the hour. We'll be back.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.